too. Good morning, Unity San Francisco. How are we today? Online, I see you there. Hello, hello, good morning. My name is Misa Malone. I am the Minister of Music here at Unity, and it is my honor and pleasure to thank you all for showing up today for our Valentine's Day Black History Month service. Today we have a special treat for you for a little prelude music. We are going to feature the fabulous Ariana Lamarck. Just a little something for the Valentines, for our lovers in the room.
It's wonderful, it's marvelous. You should care for me. Soft, nice, it's paradise. It's what I love to see. You made my life so glamorous. You can't blame me for feeling amorous. So it's wonderful, it's marvelous that you should care for me. You made my life so glamorous. I said that you can't blame me for feeling amorous. So it's wonderful, it's so marvelous that you should care for me. That you should care for. That you should care for, that you should care for me.
Happy Valentine's Day, Ariana Lamarck. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Good morning once again. Now I'll come on camera. Whew. Everybody want to just take a deep breath? Whew. Yes. It was a week getting here. There's a lot going on this week. And I feel like we just need to exhale. We are honoring Valentine's Day. It's still Black History Month. See, I got them both. I got them both covered. Oh, and the shoes. The shoes, yes. In any case, it is my honor and my pleasure to invite everyone in. And we're going to start this service as we normally do with prayer, but we're actually going to have a reading. We've started Lent, so coming with a Lenten reading, everyone, please, a round of applause for Melissa.
Hello, everyone. The reading today is from our Release and Reimagine Lent booklet, which you have in your seat backs if you're here in the room. It's on page 9. I release complaining. Today, I make a conscious decision to clear my mind of complaints. This is no small feat, as it's all too easy to slip into the habit of expressing my frustrations and grievances, whether invited or not. Sometimes this helps me feel as if I have control over situations that are beyond my reach. Once I start complaining, it becomes a loop that's hard to break, a habit so ingrained that I might not even realize I'm doing it. But this Lenten season, I'm choosing a different path. I understand that complaining keeps me tethered to the problem, obscuring any possible solution. I let Maya Angelou's words inspire me. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. Today, I let go of complaining, allowing myself to see my life and the world through new eyes and with new opportunities. We have a simple affirmation that will be easy to remember this week. I will not complain. Can we say that together?
And so it is. All things are possible as long as we remember it is through love. So we will not complain and stand in love, yes? So to open, we're just going to sing a little bit about love. 1, 2, 3, sing. Love, comfort when you've lost your center, stand and affirm in love. Love's always the answer. Love shines a light no dark can enter. Believe and receive in love. Love's always the answer. Love, comfort when you've lost your center, stand and affirm in love. Love's always the answer. Love shines a light no dark can enter. Believe and receive in love. Love's always the answer. Love, comfort when you've lost your center, stand and affirm in love. Love's always the answer. Love shines a light no dark can enter. Believe and receive in love. Love's always the answer. And so it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Tyler.
Good morning. My name is Tyler. I'm one of your prayer chaplains, and of course, our Minister of Music, Miss Misa Malone. Thank you for being here with us Sunday morning.
Welcome.
Welcome to everybody in the room, and hello to everybody online. As Melissa already mentioned, it is Lent, begins on Wednesday. We have a free booklet if you'd like. It's in the chair seat in front of you. Please take it with you. Ash Wednesday begins the season of Lent on Wednesday. And the Lunar New Year.
Yes, Lunar New Year.
Begins, the eve is tomorrow, and then the official Lunar New Year begins on Tuesday. This is the year of the horse.
Fire horse.
The fire horse.
Fire horse.
And I looked it up, and I want to say, the horse stands for independence, freedom, and perseverance. OMG, do I need some of that this year, right? Thank you for the year of the horse.
It is a definite alignment, and Lunar New Year is celebrated by lots of different Asian cultures. You may have grown up hearing it called Chinese New Year, but it's also observed by the Vietnamese and Laotian and lots of other rich Asian communities. So it is Lunar New Year.
Yes.
And it is the fire horse. What's interesting is I remember growing up, I was a rabbit,
Okay.
but now I'm a tiger.
Oh.
So they shifted something. I'm okay though. I like them, you know, hey, I'll take it.
Right,
I went from a rabbit to a tiger. They grew with me. I like
Yes,
that. I like that. But the year of the fire horse works really good for us, perseverance, because it's our year of manifestation.
Yes, we
And
have
in
a
order
theme.
to manifest things, you have to speak it. You have to persevere.
Exactly.
You have to push through and make it come into fruition in your life. So I love that we are in alignment with the Lunar New Year.
Yes, yes. And every year we have our theme, this year, the year of manifestation for Unity San Francisco, and we always have an affirmation to anchor our year of manifestation. So I'll say this once, and then I invite you to know it with us together. I commit to creating in the realm of infinite possibility. Can we know this together? I commit to creating in the realm of infinite possibility.
Yes, and another way to anchor in the realm of infinite possibilities, I do believe it's our board president, Tom Lenoble, who is manifesting a full house.
Yes.
He wants us to have an overflow. And the way we're going to do that is by what? Membership, yeah. So if you're a current member, there should be a leaflet inside of your bulletin. All you have to do is tick the box and sign it. But if you're online and you love us, or you're in the room and you love us, and you haven't signed up to be a member, but you love us, I have to ask why. Actually, being a member has its privileges. You get discounts on some of the classes and rentals. You also get access to various opportunities. And most importantly, you get to vote at the town hall, which is next Sunday. And at the town hall, there'll be lots of information that will be explained from our board, including our board president, Tom Lenoble, where they will share what's been going on with the church, what the trajectory of the church is, and there will be things that you need to vote on. You must be a member to vote.
Yes, so go to the website to become a member. Like you said, if you're renewing, be sure to do that as well before
Yes,
next week.
before
And
next
if
week.
you're here in the sanctuary, you fill this out, drop it in the offering basket a little bit later. It talks about those privileges of membership and also some of the conditions of becoming a member. So we are inviting you to join us in the mission and vision of what Unity San Francisco is and how we serve the world.
Join us in our year of manifestation.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Tyler.
All right. And I want to draw your attention to the Sunday Bulletin. If you don't already have the Sunday Bulletin, please raise your hand and one of our ushers will bring you a Sunday Bulletin. Inside is the spiritual connection card. And so we just ask everybody to fill that out, let us know who you are and how you found out about Unity San Francisco. And one of the really important parts of this spiritual connection card is that if you're a first-time guest, please let us know. If you're here in person, we have a gift for you in the foyer. If you're viewing with us online, click the spiritual connection card link in the chat. Let us know you're a first-time guest. We'd love to send you a gift electronically. And we always have the honor of standing in society and offering the opportunities for meditations. And so there's a variety of opportunities for meditation we have every Sunday morning, both here in person in the sanctuary and online, 10:15 to 10:45, 30-minute meditation led before the Sunday service. Then during the week, Monday through Friday, just 15 minutes. This is online only. You go to the website, click the Zoom link, join a prayer chaplain for 15 minutes of centering and groundedness, Monday through Friday, 12 to 12:15. And then our wonderful website has a curated library, not only of meditations, but also of inspirational music and Sunday talks. So at any time, day or night, visit the website unitysf.org. And now, we're going to be having our community song. The music team is coming into place. We invite you to stand, lift your voice with power as we sing, I am as God created me.
Yes, please stand as you are willing and able, in space and in consciousness. Here we go.
I am as God created me. I am the light in this world. I am as God created me. I am, I am, I am. I am as God created me. I am the light in this world. I am as God created me. I am, I am, I am. I am as God created me. I am the light in this world. I am as God created me. I am, I am, I am. I am. I am. I am. I am, I am, I am. I am.
yes I am. I am that I am. I am, I am. Oh yes 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 I am. 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 Oh yeah. 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 Oh yes I am. Oh yes I am. I am. Oh yes I am. I am. I am. Oh yes I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. Oh yes I am. All right. We have reached our time of interactive meet and greet. Please greet your neighbor with a handshake, a hug, a toe tap, or a fist bump. Please say hello to our online family. Happy Sunday. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh yes I am. 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 Oh yes I am.
Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes.
Yeah, get that face ready.
Thank you all for joining us. Let's kick it back to the stage.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for sharing love with each other and celebrating our time together. There's more time for socialization right after service with our hospitality hour. But for now, we have the kids that have arrived up here on stage with us. Every week, we do a blessing of the children. And I want to remind us, as we say this affirmation, it's not only for these kids here and for the kids around the world, but also for the inner child within me, the inner child within us as adults. If we didn't hear it as children, let us affirm it for the children of the world and to ourselves. And so, Misa will, here's the affirmation. I'll say it once, and then we'll say it together. You are God's perfect expression of divine life. We see you and we love you exactly the way you are. Can we know this together? You are God's perfect expression of divine life. We see you and we love you exactly the way you are. And so it is. Thank you, kids. They're going to go downstairs and have fun. And I just want to mention, we have a wonderful spiritual cinema coming up. It's a movie called Emancipation. It's going to be shown right here for free here in the sanctuary on the big screen. It's going to be on Friday, February 27th. There's a 5 p.m. potluck before the movie, and then the movie will be here at 6 p.m. It's not always the easiest thing to know and remember the history of what has transpired in our country, but this is an important movie for us to remember the truth of our history. So I believe we have a trailer.
I heard it myself. Slaves are free. Zazu. Lincoln. We must get to Lincoln's army. 5 days through this swamp.
There are many ways to die in a swamp.
There are many ways to die here.
I will not be afraid. What can a mere man do to me?
Follow the sound of Lincoln's cannons.
My family is with me forever. I will look in triumph at my enemies.
All right, part of our honoring Black History Month here in the United States. Join us for the screening of the movie Emancipation later this month. And I want to turn our attention to our Sunday speaker. This week is Dr. J.D. Schramm is returning to us again to give the Sunday message. And I want to mention that he has over 20 years teaching students the art of communication. He has taught at Stanford and Columbia and NYU. You can find him online on YouTube, but also having given a TED Talk, TEDx Talk. He's also a book author. His recent book, Communication with Mastery, Speak with Conviction, and Write for Impact. One of the most important things that we know about him, he's also the spouse of our senior minister, Reverend Ken Daigle. So let's give a hand for JD. He'll be speaking in a moment. But first, we have a solo. Let's welcome back to the stage Ariana Lamarck.
The very thought of you makes my heart sing like an April breeze on the wings of spring. And you appear in all your splendor, my one and only love. The shadows fall and spread their mystic charms in the hush of night while you're in my arms. I feel your lips so warm and tender, my one and only love. And the touch of your hand is like heaven, a heaven that I've never known. The blush of your cheek whenever I speak tells me that that you are my own. You fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss you give sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender, my one and only love. A heaven that I've never known. The blush on your cheek whenever I speak, it tells me that you are my own. You fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss you give sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender, my one and only love.
Ariana, thank you so much for that. It was just beautiful. My one and only love is at Unity of Marin today. Reverend Ken sends his greetings. For those I haven't met yet, he is typically here as senior minister. This is 2 weeks in a row he's had to miss for other Unity churches, but he will be back next Sunday. And it's interesting, as I reflect on that phrase, the senior minister's spouse, or the pastor's spouse. Like, who would have thought when I was 7 years old, when I was a little kid growing up in Hays, Kansas, that I would be the pastor's spouse? So I grew up Roman Catholic. In fact, I'm still Roman Catholic, and I didn't have a role model for what pastor's spouse was. We don't have those in Catholicism. But I did have a role model. And I want to introduce you to Margaret. Margaret Thorns was the wife of Reverend John Thorns, who was the Presbyterian minister in my hometown. And I had the privilege as a little kid getting to know her and her love, her spirit of ecumenical outreach to all of us in this little town I grew up in the 1960s and 70s. We were still pretty tribal in Western Kansas. And the Catholics and the Protestants had their own hospitals. We had our own schools. We had our own churches, obviously. But Margaret crossed all of that. And in fact, her husband, after he retired, he was in a wheelchair, as you see in the photo there in the middle. And that's how I first got to know Reverend Thorns. But then as I grew up, and she was a widow for the last probably 30 plus years of her life. She was such a matriarch, not just for the Presbyterians in my hometown, but for all of us. And I remember she made the cookies and the treats for my Eagle Scout Court of Honor. And she was there and was as well known in my Catholic church as she was in her Presbyterian church. So I do have a role model for a pastor's spouse, but no job description. and no salary, which is okay. I'm good with that. But I have had to figure out, can we just go to black screen? I have had to figure out what it took and what it takes to create being a pastor's spouse. And I like the grace and the freedom that all of you give me to help me figure out what that looks like in our community. So growing up, I had no black friends. As I said, in the 60s and 70s in Hays, Kansas, there was no color in our community. I can actually recall having a Nigerian student from the university come to my grade school and talk to us about Christmas in Nigeria. And I think that was probably the first time that I had ever met somebody whose skin color was different than my own. And there was a sense of curiosity, and it wasn't just somebody in a film or on TV, this was somebody in my community. So I don't think I grew up racist, but I certainly grew up pretty gosh darn isolated. But a few stories from my childhood persist a half century later that demonstrated that I did grow up with a sense of messages of the other, whether it be the Presbyterians or people of a different race or people of a different sexual orientation. I did grow up with some messages of being othered. I'm going to go back a generation before my own. And when Tyler spoke in November and when David spoke in the fall, they talked about our ancestry and both the flaws and the success of the people who went before us. I began to really think about my own childhood. So my grandfather, Ted Waters, was born in 1904 in Oklahoma Indian Territory. Wasn't even a state yet. I didn't know this until his funeral, and that was what was on the funeral program. So my grandfather was almost the youngest. He had one little sister, but he had 10 older siblings that he grew up in this large family in Oklahoma. And I can remember I remember the story, when my mom and dad got married, they were concerned about telling my grandfather and all of his brothers that Roma, my mom, was marrying a Roman Catholic. And then a few years later, my mom made the decision to join the Catholic Church before my oldest sister was born. So my grandfather went to one of his brothers and said, we need to have a conversation. I know you've been concerned about Roma being married to a Catholic. She's actually chosen to become a Catholic. And it got really quiet. And then finally, Uncle O.D. said, well, I guess the Catholics need as many good Christians as they can get. And so there was this sense of, even in that playful comment, of us and them. It was rumored that one of my great uncles was actually the father of the legendary singer Ethel Waters. The rumor, as it was told through family lore, is that one of my ancestors had actually, through an illegitimate extramarital relationship, had actually fathered Ethel Waters, and that she was, on some extent, a cousin of mine. Now, Ethel Waters was a remarkable black singer. She was the first black woman to ever sing on radio, the first black woman to star in her own TV show, and the first black woman to be nominated for an Emmy Award. She was a powerhouse. And I was fascinated by this family story. So I went back and I found her biography, and I read one page of her biography, and it was very clear that her father was black and her mother was mixed race. There was no way any of my lineage was in her lineage. And so I as a 10 or 11-year-old, I debunked the family rumor. But then I thought later, how peculiar that this would even be a part of our lore. That there would be somebody in our family proud of the fact that they had sired a child and left the mother to raise the child on her own, and then when the child became famous, would take some level of credit for that. And I love that Ethel Waters kept her father's name. And there was this tie, although not familial, but there was this tie between me and this singer because she had such a remarkable career. I think a lot about my grandfather and his older brothers. See, my grandfather would have been 17 years old when Black Wall Street was torched in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And all of his brothers and all older brothers would have been in their 20s and 30s. Now, I don't have anybody I can ask about this story, but I am completely curious about what their experience was as white men in Oklahoma when this tragedy happened that I never heard about until 5 years ago. Never was a part of it. This was not a part of the things that I was taught as a child. But this dreadful destruction of the community in Oklahoma, I wonder, and I began wondering in the talks that Tyler and David gave us, were they aware? Were they a part of it? Were they against it? Or were they silent participants? I do not know, but that's a part of my ancestry. Even moving to my own childhood, again, we'll go to the 1960s and 70s in Hays, Kansas. There was not a lot of diversity that I had the experience of. So here is little David. I didn't start going by JD until I graduated college. This is me at Easter, I think probably 4 years old. And this is my first grade class. And so you can see the picture is in black and white, but it's really pretty much just in white. Let's be clear, okay? All right, we're all doing the Where's Waldo now. Where is JD? Anyone want to take a guess? Take a guess. Upper right, went too fast. Upper right corner. Catch me up here. And why in 1970 my mom thought wearing a bow tie to school for my class? Maybe she knew something that I didn't know as a 6-year-old. But as I look at that class and Sister Frances Rose and our upbringing, we were all taught that God loves everybody. God loves everyone. And there was not this sense of othering, but there also was not that sense of who else was out there. This went on through junior high, and then I got to high school. And in high school, I went to in town, there was the Catholic high school I went to had a boarding program. So there were some students who came into the boarding program who were of a different race or a different nationality. But we were friendly, but they didn't ultimately become my friends. I look back at my senior picture in 1982, and I was pretty proud of my Boy Scout heritage. My Eagle Scout proudly proclaimed there. But I was pretty much like everybody else that I grew up with. And even in college, in the fraternity that I was in, no diversity in that picture of the Delta Upsilon brothers from Emporia State University in the early 1980s. I'm here with the glasses on, and the backstory of that picture. Actually, one of my fraternity brothers' wives put it on Facebook yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to put that into my talk tomorrow. The backstory is we had one tie and 2 or 3 blazers in different sizes, and we all just took it off so that we could all match in the picture. But I surrounded myself with people who looked like me because that was what I knew. That was what was familiar. And then after college, I had a remarkable experience of being able to travel with the Up With People music group. And finally, I can show you a picture of me amidst the diversity of people who didn't look like me from different nations, different languages, different skin colors. Okay, if you're trying really hard to find me, it is tough. I'm hidden behind the guy with the mustache in the top right corner, so you can see right by that blonde, there's a little bit of JD showing up. Just the eyebrows. I didn't even realize how hidden I was in that picture until we were in rehearsal, and we spent like 10 minutes trying to find Waldo in the picture. But when I had this experience of traveling with Up With People, which was a non-political, non-religious organization, we're just past the Super Bowl. The only group that has performed in 4 halftime shows of the Super Bowl is Up With People. And we've not performed with the Super Bowl since 1985, and I joined the group in 1986. So that unrelated to them not being asked anymore to do the Super Bowl. But when I was on the road with Up With People, I wasn't a singer. I didn't have the voice to sing, and usually I was, if we can just go to plain screen there. Usually I was high up on the left side on one of the mic groups, and I found out later that they often turned the microphone closest to me off because singing wasn't the gift that I brought to Up With People. And even though we were a non-religious, non-political organization, there was one song in our show that dipped towards the religious because of the message that it offered. And while I never sang it as a soloist, I held on to those words. And even when my children were little, I would sing to them as a lullaby. Good night, I said to my little one, so tired out when the day was done. Then they said as I tucked them in, tell me, Daddy, what color's God's skin? What color is God's skin? What color is God's skin? I said it's black, brown, it's yellow, it's red, it is white. Everyone's the same in the good Lord's sight. Hun, that's part of our suffering past, but the whole human family is learning at last. The thing we missed on the road we trod is walking as the daughters and the sons of God. What color is God's skin? What color is God's skin? I said it's black, brown, it's yellow, it's red, it is white. Everyone's the same in the good Lord's sight. Everyone's the same in the good Lord's sight. And those words were powerful to me. They were powerful to sing to my son Joshua and my daughter Roma when they were infants, actually swaddled in an Afghan that Margaret Thorns had made, allowing me to bring my childhood and my young adulthood into my life as a parent and as a dad. And so I thought I was making all the right choices. I mean, for those of you we haven't met yet, Ken and I have 3 kids from 3 completely different races. We're raising our own little United Nations up there in Marin County. And yet, there's more that's possible. There's more that I can be doing as a white man with my own white privilege, experiencing this acknowledgement and celebration of Black History Month. So I've talked about my childhood, I've talked about my early adulthood. I want to now share some reflections from what Chip Conley calls our middlescence. We all have adolescence between being a child and being an adult. We also have middlescence, which is between being middle-aged and being an elder. And in that liminal space of middlescence, I have learned a whole lot about my experience of white privilege and how to engage with that part of myself. On my last day of teaching at Stanford's Graduate School of Business, I'm going to share with you about a speaker who came into my life and an author who came into my life. The speaker who came into my life was a young man who I didn't have the privilege of teaching in class, but he was part of a program that I created at Stanford that still continues to this day called Low Keynotes. And he created a low keynote that's a 9-minute talk. If you want to see the whole talk, feel free to reach out to me or Ken. I'm glad to share it with you so you can see the link. But in the middle of that talk that Shawan Jackson presented, I had an epiphany about the career I have as somebody who coaches presentations. And I want to just share a little bit of Shawan's talk with you.
Reflecting on this moment, I realized that while I had strong communication skills back then, I lacked critical consciousness, a term coined by Paulo Freire, a Brazilian philosopher, that speaks to one's ability to critically examine the world and do something to change it. Realizing this inspired me to help other youth, especially underserved youth, build not just their communication skills, but also their critical consciousness, with the hope that they'll be able to speak persuasively about social justice. But in doing this work, I've realized that critical consciousness isn't just about challenging what you say. It's also about challenging how you present yourself and your ideas. Now, when I first started teaching public speaking, I did not realize this. I used to teach my students the control framework. It went a little something like this. Control your body. Stand up straight, relax your shoulders, make sure they're in line with your feet. Gesture, but not too much. Control your voice. Speak up. Pace yourself, pause so that people really listen. Okay, not that long, and enunciate every single word as you speak. Now, research shows that if you do those behaviors, you actually do sound more persuasive. But the more I've been working with youth of color, and the more I've been reflecting on my own public speaking style, I realize that there's a point when control becomes conformity, when the right way to speak becomes the white way to do it.
Control becomes conformity, where the right way to speak becomes the white way to speak. Whew. Mic drop for me in realizing that unknowingly, like really trying to be a great educator and a great coach, unknowingly I had perpetuated something that kept in place a difference, rather than honoring what we have in common. And from that talk, almost 6 years ago next month, from that talk forward, I have adjusted how I work with speakers, whether they share my skin tone or do not, whether they have the same background or they do not, so that I can help them find their authentic, true voice and share that in a way that's most effective and powerful for them. Shawan's talk goes on, and he talks about the questions that he has. He doesn't have a lot of solutions, but he offers the question of, do I need to conform to the person who is in the majority in order to get through to them, or do I need to be true to myself in order to be authentic? And that's the conundrum unresolved. And as somebody who is a part of the white majority, just because of the skin color that I was born with and the upbringing that I have to look at what am I doing that's keeping in place this distance that has Shawan wonder about how he shows up. Shawan has now gone on to become a faculty member at Stanford, teaching one of the courses that I created and still wrestling with, how do we present? What do we say and how do we say it? But then another man came into my life. Ken and I have both gotten to know since the fall Satanya. Satanya is a formerly incarcerated individual. He is, and even that I know that phrase and that is the right way to describe Satanya's experience, I'm actually going to read just a little bit of his bio from his book jacket. He's an activist. He is widely published essayist, owner of Reframe, and a 2022 Soros Justice Fellow. California's Governor Brown commuted his life sentence after 21 years for his community work. He actually says in his book, "I wrote my way out of prison." He has written for publications including the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Jose Mercury News, and many other publications. And in Satanya's book, which is called The Ghost in the Criminal Justice Machine, and I want to be clear about the subtitle because I want to be sure I represent it carefully. Reform, White Supremacy, and an Abolitionist Future. Satanya is one of the advocates, not for reforming our prison system that he has lived experience in, but abolishing our prison system. Now, I've read the book twice now. I listened to it once and read it in print. I don't know that I understand everything that he offers and the argument that he makes. I don't know that I agree with everything that he says in here. But what I do know is that he has a perspective I don't have. He has lived experience that is not what this little white kid from Hays, Kansas grew up with. And that I am the richer and the better for engaging with the ideas that he shares. One of the quotes from his book is that the source, him speaking, the source of my most traumatic lived experience wasn't a cop or a judge. It was my family and my church. He acknowledges that he kept white supremacy alive because of mindsets that had been given to him for his safety and for his well-being, and yet that those messages were delivered to him in a way that ultimately in the end didn't serve him. When I read this line, I began to question, what are the messages that I've received? What are the actions that I've taken on unknowingly that have kept alive this distance, this white supremacy with no intention of my own, but realizing I have a role in the world in which I live into. In the midst of reading his book, I had the privilege of working with Ryan as Ryan got ready for his remarkable talk that he delivered on the holiday of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. In the midst of working with Ryan, I began by saying, I don't know you and your experience. I can't know it, but I'm sure I've unknowingly contributed to it. And some of the conversations that Ryan and I had in the practice session for his talk were more connected and authentic than we had had in the years that we had known one another. Because I realized there was stuff I didn't know, and there was stuff I needed to be able to know. I cannot undo my uncle's actions, whatever they were or were not, in Oklahoma in 1921. I can't make up for diversity that didn't exist in my deep past or my recent past. But I do know that I can look at what I'm choosing to do moving forward. I may be where I am today as a product of all my lived experiences up till this point, but who I choose to be tomorrow is because of the inputs and the choices and the insights that I take in, that I wrestle with, and that I figure out. So I can bring together people of different backgrounds from my own. I can continue to be curious about those who are not like me and ask and really listen to answers, to embrace those answers from a beginner's mindset. I've talked a little bit about our two younger children, Joshua and Roma, who most of you know and see regularly. But Ken and I also have a 27-year-old son who's African American. I can ask Toby about his experiences both before and after moving into our family. One story is an example. Joshua, who's our youngest, he's 7, bundle of energy, not neurodivergent on the spectrum at some place that we will someday better understand than we do right now. But we got a report from school that he had been using the N-word. Now, that is not a word that he uses, that he hears in our household. We guess that he probably heard it at school or on the bus or on that YouTube channel, but he heard it somewhere. I don't think he even knew what it meant, but he knew that it agitated people. And so when we got the first report, I took John, I sat him down, and both with my tone and my volume, I made it crystal clear that that is not a word that we use in this family. 2 days later, another report from school. I'm like, oh, I can't get through to this kid. And I realized I am not the best adult in the house to have this conversation. Ken is not the best adult in this house to have this conversation. Happy to share our 23andMe with you, but we're at 99% having come from Northern Europe, okay? We're pretty white. So I went to Toby, and I said, Toby, help me out here. Can you talk to Joshua? Now, I did not sit in on the conversation, but I do know that my 27-year-old son was able to explain to my 7-year-old son how hurtful that N-word is and why it is not something that we want to perpetuate. And I was so grateful that my family of multiple DNA, multiple strands of race and of background and experience could support one another in that way. And so I continue to self-assess. Where do I need to know more? Where do I need to seek out the people, the books, the talks on YouTube? Where do I need to get inputs that will allow me to understand things from a perspective different than the perspective that I have? On Friday, I was coaching one of my clients here in this space. Occasionally, I rent the space to do some of my work. And my client and colleague, Laura Putnam, in part of her talk, she talks about, do you know how to teach a goldfish what water is? Okay, think about it for a minute. A goldfish knows nothing but water, okay? You want to teach a goldfish what water is? You pull it out of the tank for a little bit, and it like flutters around, goes, put me back in the water, because all it knows is the water. I have to, at times, take myself out of the water within which I've been swimming in order to see things in a different way, in order to see things differently. As Melissa beautifully read Maya Angelou's words, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. I can begin to look at what parts of my attitude do I need to shift and change, and what parts of my attitude and my background serve me and should continue. I can find the role models that I need, whether it's Margaret or Shawan or Satanya. I can find people whose experiences are different than mine to help me grow in my experience. I can decide which stories to tell, to retire, or to reframe. I can move out of victim consciousness or villain consciousness into victor consciousness by what I do with my mindset. So let's take that to our time of meditation, where I have a new appreciation for this work made famous by the legendary non-relative Ethel Waters.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and lost for heaven and home. When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I am free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he's watching. I know he watches. I know he watches. He watches me.
And so I ask as I meditate, where do I experience that loving care of which Ethel Waters wrote and Misa sang? Where is it evident that I am cared for, that I am loved, as we've heard throughout this service? Where in my life do I know and experience that love from an individual, from a community, from the world that I operate in? Where is it that I experience that kind of loving, powerful care? And where is it in my life that that feeling is missing? Where is there a gap that needs filled? Where do I not know love as I want it, as I prefer it? What am I doing, consciously or unconsciously, that keeps these gaps in my life and in my experience of love in place? And who do I choose to be in both of those experiences, where love is evident and where love is missing? What is it that I can shift? And so it is.
I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I am free. I know He watches. I know God's watching. I know God watches and loves me.
Thank you. Thank you, JD. Let's give him a round of applause for today's Sunday Talk. The more and more I learn about you is that you do encourage and train people to have their own voice heard. And some of your students become book authors and community activists. So thank you for contributing also right here at Unity San Francisco. Thank you. Okay, I want to draw your attention to the Sunday Bulletin. To pull that out, there's a spiritual connection card right inside of there, and check out the spiritual connection card. We have these little phrases, and I ask you, if these phrases ring true for you, then check them off, and we put them in the offering basket. So consider these phrases for yourself, that this week, I choose to examine my old stories. Once again, let me examine those old stories. This week, I choose to recast my beliefs in a new light. I have the right to make a new decision anytime I want in my belief system. This week, I choose to engage with a beginner's mindset. This week, I choose to love wastefully. Whichever of these ring true for you, check them off. There's space to write your own, in your own words, which is a powerful practice. I wrote, I will speak for love and inclusion, especially for people not like me. Right? Right? Put your own words into manifestation, your intention in motion. Drop this in the offering basket. Reverend Ken holds these in prayer for this week. Right after Sunday service, you can join us downstairs for the spiritual discussion group with our friends online. The discussion continues about what inspired you. Grab a little plate of food, join us in the conference room downstairs. And we always have a moment to share about time, talent, and treasure here at Unity San Francisco. Giving of our time includes coming to Sunday service. Or for me, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I have a YouTube video playing of something that inspires me in my spiritual journey, or books that we read, ways that we encourage ourselves. And we give of our talent to organizations. And we also give of our treasure. I just want to point out that in your Sunday bulletin, there is a pledge card every year. We ask people to notify us. Let us know what you pledge, what you estimate your expected giving for the year to be. That'll help us with the governing board as they plan for the year ahead and all the activities that we envision doing. And there's a variety of ways to give. There is the QR code that's in your Sunday bulletin. It's on the screen behind me. There's a white envelope in the chair seat in front of you. There's a donate link in the chat for all of our friends online. I'm asking the ushers to come forward with the offering basket. Again, your membership form, your pledge card, and your spiritual connection card. Drop that in the offering basket. And as always, we anchor our time of giving with an affirmation. So I'll say this once. I give with abundant love and joy, and as I give, I receive. Can we know that together? I give with abundant love and joy, and as I give, I receive. And so it is. All right. We always have our activities, our classes and events. One of the best classes coming up right now is the Unapologetic Manifestation class, Ken's new book. We're going to be having this 10-week course, and it's going to be beginning Monday night, March 30th. And it is an online-only class because this is being offered nationwide. And we have a special message from Reverend Ken about this class.
Hello. I wanted to share an important update about the Unapologetic Manifestation class. After thoughtful reflection, we've decided to postpone the start of the Unapologetic Manifestation course in order to gather more feedback and for us to do a better job of serving you. So the new start date will be Monday, March 30th, and it will run through Monday, June 8th. We're going to take off 1 week during that period, Monday, April 20th, because I'm traveling out of town. So if you're already signed up, your spot is secure and no action is required on your part. But otherwise, I invite you to sign up today, to send me a note or to speak to me next week about you becoming a part of this unapologetic manifestation journey and jump-starting the creation of the life that you truly want. Namaste. See you next week.
Right. Ken is speaking, like JD mentioned, at Unity Marin. Last week, he was speaking at a Unity church in Florida. He returns next week. And we also are very proud to be getting involved. If you want to be involved in a march, there is the next nationwide march put on by Indivisible. It's going to be on Saturday, March 28th. If you want to join us, let us know, and we will have more information. But also, if you want to join the team of us that are helping Unity San Francisco have a good presence at the march, let us know, let me know, let Ryan know, let one of the leaders know that you'd like to help us get a little organized before this national march that we get to take a part of. It's coming up March 28th. And we always have every year the Affirmative Prayer Workshop Series. Now, the first one is Sunday, March 1st. It's open to everybody. If you're just interested in learning more about the affirmative prayer technique, join us. But if you want to be a prayer chaplain, we invite you to join the prayer chaplain team. But this series of Affirmative Prayer Workshop classes is a prerequisite if you want to become a prayer chaplain. So look at your Sunday bulletin, find out more, go to the website, sign up. And, as always, if you'd like prayer with a prayer chaplain, then just see one of us after service. We'd love to agree with you for the good that is manifesting in your life. So see one of us with the prayer chaplain stole after service. And as always, thank you to everybody that makes Unity San Francisco who and what we are. Not only the governing board, not only the music team and the music singers and the hospitality team downstairs, but each and every one of you, both in the sanctuary and online. Together, we are the love that is Unity San Francisco. So we invite you to stand. Let's sing our closing song, You Are the Light.